Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So the weather has been, I'd say, a little crazy. We've been up and down. It's been warm spring and then going cold again and warm. I really feel like spring is just around the corner though. Getting those glimpses of those warm days and snow melting, that has been just amazing. So yes, it's coming. It's on the way, just a little bit longer. I hope everyone had a chance to celebrate Family Day on February the 20th, whether you're watching this on the 20th or after that. I hope you had some wonderful family time that you've been in gratitude for. Now, today on the show, we are talking about the polar plunge with the DRPS. So stay tuned for that. We're also talking about the Greater Durham Special Olympics with Duncan LeBlanc and the Uxbridge Scugog Animal Shelter. Emily is going to be on the show, and we'll talk about what is going on with the animal shelter. So make sure you keep on watching, because guess what? We're going to be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Hi, I'm Justice.
And I'm Nia. And we believe dreams fuel revolutions.
That's why we're engaging with Canadian icons and the causes they support.
Join us for these inspiring conversations and find out how you can be revolutionary.
Blood in the urine is the most common symptom of bladder cancer. Don't ignore this warning sign, not even once.
Hey, what's good, everybody? I'm Karim Grant, a former professional football player. Do you want to know what current and former professional athletes are up to these days? Catch the Players Corner with Karim Grant exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So it is an absolute pleasure to be with Sergeant Joanne Bordelis from DRPS, so the Durham Regional Police Service, and we're talking about the polar plunge that is happening. So when I think of polar plunge, I think of icy cold water. Why the heck are we doing this?
So that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty cold, but it's also an amazing fundraising event that we hold. All the money raised goes to Special Olympics Ontario. This is an event that's open to absolutely everyone. It's going to be held on March 2nd this year, and we're here today to encourage those people to register, to sign up, and come support our special athletes.
Okay, so to register to sign up, so the public can get involved with this, meaning they can take the plunge themselves. Yep. They can raise money for Special Olympics. How does it work?
Yeah, so absolutely. There's different avenues that they can do, but first and foremost, they got to register. polarplunge.ca/Durham is where they can register. We are offering a lot of incentives to those people that do want to register. Those incentives are all listed on our website at drps.ca. We do know not everyone wants to take that plunge, so you can donate and not take the plunge and just come out and show your support.
Okay, so if you do want to participate in it, is there a certain amount of money that you need to raise to participate?
No, there's not. You can donate what you want. Anyone can participate. You just need to sign up and register.
Okay, that's awesome. So where is it taking place?
So it's going to be in Pickering at the Chestnut Hill Developments Recreation Center, which is at Valley Farm and Highway 2 or Kingston Road in Pickering.
Okay, so this is an outdoor swimming pool?
Yes.
I'm curious how this works. So are they filling up the pool, or has it already been filled and they're just taking off the tarp? Do you know how that works? I'm sorry, my mind is just going there.
I just know that it's a big bucket and it's very cold and you got to jump in.
Okay, are you participating in that?
Right now, I'm not scheduled to participate. I did make a promise to the girls in my office that if we do hit our goal, the last time we did this, we hit $29,000 was fundraised. So this this year we want to surpass that. We want to get $30,000. We are quite a distance off right now, so if we do end up raising enough, then I will plunge.
Okay, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
everyone, we need to get past the $30,000 mark. I have never done a polar plunge before. I have a hard time putting my shower cold,
Yes.
but I want to get better at that. What happens after, if you don't know this, it's okay,
Yeah.
but what happens after you go in there? How are you getting warm after?
I
This is
don't
where my
know
brain
because I've
goes.
never done it, but I'm
Okay.
assuming you're going to be super cold for a while.
Right.
But it's well worth it. It's for an amazing cause.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do it, then I think everyone can do it.
Okay, so EMS is on standby?
Yeah, they'll be on standby.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is happening on March the 2nd, you said.
Yes.
And so tell me about the relationship between the Durham Regional Police Service and the Durham Special Olympics. What is that relationship?
So it's pretty amazing, the relationship that we have. The Polar Plunge is just one of the amazing events that we do. We also do the children's games and the torch run. We do there's a lot that are held by the Law Enforcement Torch Run Committee besides the Polar Plunge. They did their first torch run in 1987, and since then the policing community has never looked back. They want to provide a platform for athletes of all abilities to be able to go out there and show their skills. Since the torch run partnered with the Special Olympics Ontario, they have raised over $46 million, and the number of athletes that we have registered was from just under 4,000, and now we're just above 26,000, which is pretty amazing.
That's incredible. So with the Polar Plunge specifically, how is that money going to be funneled in? How is it going to help the Special Olympics?
So all of the money raised goes back to help with events and programs to Special Olympics across the province. But the best part of this one is that any registered athletes or volunteers that raise money, 75% of that goes back into the community that they represent.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, anything that we haven't covered right now that you think would be really important for us to share? What message do you want to get out?
Right now, our biggest message is to get on there and register, donate. It's an amazing cause. Show your support and hit that 30,000, and I'll take the plunge.
Okay. Now, when you first arrived, you guys asked if I was going to take the plunge.
You should do it with me.
Yeah,
You do it with me?
Okay. 30,000 mark.
You'll do it with me?
Yeah.
All right,
then
deal.
I will do it with you.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. not gonna lie. It would be scary for me to do something like that.
Let's hope for a real warm day in March.
Okay. Every year you must have new people joining in that have never done it before.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories about any reactions?
No, but March 3rd I'll probably have some.
So how is there? I guess I don't know. I've seen it happening in Uxbridge before. There was a polar plunge at the pond there, and then there's a bus that then takes them I don't know where. But I've seen that happening. Do you know what the process is on the day of? Like,
I don't know the process. I do know the event stage where it is, and there's tons of parking. It's quite a large area, so people won't have any issues getting in or out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm excited about it. If I don't plunge, I think it would be fun to even observe
Absolutely.
and donate. I
Yes.
think that would be wonderful and for
sure.
a beautiful cause.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so grateful you came on to the show, and I really hope that we can get the community together to raise over $30,000.
So do I.
this
Yeah,
year.
let's do it.
All right. So let's get the word out there. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
When you're away from the gym, here's what CrossFit Oshawa does to keep fit. I want to show you a pull-up today because it's a functional movement that utilizes your entire body. If that's too challenging, scale it back to a jumping pull-up. Box jumps are great because they help you develop power in your lower body, and if you do enough reps, they elicit a great cardio response as well. We jump, land, and stand. To make that easier on your ankle, we can jump, land, stand, and step down. Burpees are everyone's favorite. They have a love-hate relationship because they're so great at developing that cardio response. In a burpee, chest goes to the floor, jump and clap overhead. Another one that I love to do is just getting out and running with the dog. I'll see you outside.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So we were just talking to the Durham Regional Police about the polar plunge, and now we actually have Duncan LeBlanc, who is a board member for the Greater Durham Special Olympics. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's tell our viewers a little bit more about what the Greater Durham Special Olympics is, what they do, what it's all about.
Yes, so Greater Durham Special Olympics is one of the chapters under Special Olympics Ontario. So we're a community-based group run solely by volunteers. So there's nobody getting paid for any of these positions. Okay. And what we do is provide programs, athletic programs for any adult or youth with a cognitive disability. So it provides an opportunity of inclusion so that they can all participate. And these programs run every season. So we have winter seasons and fall seasons and spring seasons, summer, where there's various sports that are offered. And we try and keep the cost of these programs minimal to the athletes because we know that affordability is quite an issue with that group. And that's why events like the Polar Plunge are super important because it helps support the programs so that we can pay for the facilities so that our athletes can participate.
Okay, beautiful. So I understand you're always looking for volunteers to be able to run these programs. So what programs right now are you looking for support? Are we talking winter programs, spring programs?
Pretty much all our programs can always use volunteers. We have to stick to what's called ratios. So every program, for the safety and risk for the athletes, we want to ensure that there's enough volunteers that are available so that, let's say in swimming, the ratio is 5-to-1, or I think it's 4-to-1. That there's, for every 4 athletes, there's always 1 volunteer. So that we, they're monitored and we ensure that their safety is paramount. So we have all sorts of, we have some programs that are just at the cusp that they just have enough volunteers to run. And it's always nice to have 1 or 2 because if somebody's sick,
right,
then we have to shut the programs down for that practice. Or we have some summer programs that we're going to be looking at, like we tried to run a golf program and a soccer program, and I know the golf is in the Uxbridge area. We've lost our volunteers.
Oh, okay.
So we need some volunteers that can take on the role as a head coach or just to be there so that the athletes can participate in golf programs or in soccer programs.
So what type of experience are you looking for in the volunteers for, let's say, golf or swimming?
There are various positions as volunteers. So just as what I'll call a volunteer, a program volunteer is they just have to have a vulnerable sector check done through the police, which is if they apply to become a volunteer, we provide a letter so that there's minimal cost to get that done, and they have to take a online course on safe sports to ensure that we mitigate any risk factors. Other than that, 2 reference checks, and then they can become a volunteer. In order to run a sport, we also need roles of head coaches and coaches. They do need a little bit more background. So, as an example, a soccer coach would need to have some background in soccer. And if they have a certification as a qualified soccer coach already, even better.
Okay, great. Okay, so far we've mentioned swimming, we've mentioned soccer, we've mentioned golf. What are some other programs that you offer?
We have, so in the winter time, we have basketball. We in Ajax and Oshawa. We have swimming in Uxbridge and in Pickering, I believe. We have speed skating. We have learn to skate. We have figure skating programs. In the summer, track and field, baseball. We tried to offer golf and soccer. I'm just trying to think of some of the others.
Okay, great. So you're looking for volunteers in all of those sports. So if you have a passion for sport, you have a passion to help, to give back to your community.
And I'd say it's the biggest passion is these athletes. So,
beautiful.
I mean, my journey has been, I used to coach, I'll call it generic sports.
Okay.
Now that I've taken on coaching Special Olympics, I won't go back to generic sports. The smiles on their faces, what I get back from the athletes is far more for what I give them. It's just such a pleasure to be amongst them and to volunteer my time with them. It's a great experience.
What is the benefit for the athletes? What have you seen that has created such an inspired passion for you to continue to participate as a volunteer?
It's being a parent of a child with a cognitive disability has really shown me how this opens doors for them. It gives them a place where they feel they belong, nice. Where they're allowed to do their best and perform their best, whatever that best may be. But they feel a reward from it, and that sense of belonging and that social aspect, which in a lot of cases, our communities isolate them. They can't participate in, let's say, some of the generic programs because they feel left behind. So this provides that opportunity for them to be included into all these events.
Thank you. I'm so glad, Duncan, we were able to have you on the show and get the word out to everyone. So if you are interested in volunteering, there is an email that we're going to have at the bottom of the screen there. So it's greaterdurham.events@specialolympicsontario.ca. So send an email if you're interested in participating in that and supporting the Greater Durham Special Olympics. Thank you so much, Duncan.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Yo. Yep. Okay, I'll be there. Hey, do you like movies? You know I do. That's why I see all of them. And if you want to know which ones you should see too, check out the latest Cinema Scene reviews and interviews. They're hot, fresh, and delicious, and they're online at rogerstv.com/cinemascene, popcorn not included. This offer is available everywhere. Tell your friends, be the first on your block to click rogerstv.com/cinemascene. It's so nice, we have to mention it twice.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me now on the show is Emily Gerber, who is the animal shelter supervisor for the Uxbridge Scugog Animal Shelter. And it's wonderful to have you on the show. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
And so something that's interesting that it didn't even occur to me, but you get calls for not only about cats and dogs, but about wildlife.
Yes, especially at this time of year and with this weather that we've been having, the very warm weather, we get a lot of calls for raccoons specifically this time of year. They come out, they're confused, they are feeling the warm weather, they're walking around during the day. We get a lot of people calling, seeing them. Some of them are just confused because the weather's warm, they're not sure what they should be doing, but we do also see a lot of raccoon distemper this time of year.
Can I ask you, what does distemper look like?
So usually you'll see neurological issues, sometimes circling. We'll get a lot of people that'll call and say there's a raccoon in my yard and it's just walking in circles, or it's just pacing back and forth in one area. Sometimes they'll fall over. In extreme cases, they can have seizures. And then you normally see gunky eyes, runny noses, respiratory symptoms like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what was really surprising for me is that you had mentioned prior to starting the interview that people are petting these raccoons.
Yes. I know that sometimes they look really cute and fluffy, so we do get people who will touch them. Sometimes they're doing it to attempt to contain them. Other times they just think that it seems friendly, so they pet it. If a raccoon is allowing you to approach it and pet it, likely there is something neurologically wrong with it, because that's not normal behavior for a raccoon.
Okay, so distemper, can it be transmitted to humans or household pets?
Humans, no. It is actually referred to as canine distemper, so it can affect your dogs specifically.
Okay, so if, let's say, you were touching a raccoon, then you're touching your dog, can you transmit that way?
You could if you had any sort of secretions from the raccoon on you, and then you introduce them to your dog.
Okay, so don't pet wildlife.
Yes, don't
because
pet
if they're
the
letting
wildlife.
you pet them, there's something up there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now what about rabies? Are you seeing any rabies lately or this time of year?
We don't in this area. Rabies had been not seen in Ontario for many, many years until about 2018. There was a big outbreak of it in the Hamilton area. It never came this far, but it could be out there, and that one is transmittable to humans and pets, and it is fatal.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. So as a human, if you get it, or if your dog gets it.
Yeah.
Now, if you need to test an animal that potentially has rabies, what is the issue there?
So the only way to test is actually to directly test the brain of the animal, which involves humane euthanasia prior to the testing being done. So if you or your animal gets bit by wildlife, immediately go to your doctor or your veterinarian, because if the animal had rabies, they can preemptively give a vaccine. But if you or an animal has symptoms of rabies, which onset within 10 days of contracting it, at that point it is fatal.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Now, on a lighter note,
yes.
Do you have any pets right now that are needing their forever homes?
We do. We actually have a few special needs cats. So speaking of some of the diseases wildlife can have, we have a couple cats that have viral diseases currently, so they can live out a happy, healthy life, but they are a bit special needs. So another thing I wanted to mention with the diseases wildlife can have is to make sure your pets are fully vaccinated and make sure you keep them up to date. The cats we have in particular are doing very well in the shelter, but they will need a home that is aware of some of the special needs they might have.
Okay, so what type of special needs that, when you're saying viral, I think of a cold. So what type of special needs might they have?
So one is basically a cold, but it's not something that they ever get rid of fully. So the cat will likely have upper respiratory symptoms like sneezing and runny eyes for his life. We have him on antibiotics right now, and once the symptoms have subsided, then he's a normal cat, but it is something that you can't fully get rid of. So he may have symptoms throughout his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone is interested in checking out what pets you have up for adoption, or they want to apply, what's the process with that?
So I would say to follow us on our Facebook, which is Uxbridge Scugog Animal Shelter. We post all of our adoptable animals on our Facebook page with a link to our application for adoption there. You can also go onto the uxbridge.ca website search for animal control and you'll find our adoption applications. People are welcome with the cats to come into the shelter at any time. They can go into our cat rooms and they can meet who we have available and then fill out an application if they see one that they're interested in adopting. With dogs, we don't generally do meet and greets until after we've had an application period open. So we normally accept applications for dogs and then we'll choose a few families that we think might have the best home for that particular dog, and then we'll start doing meet and greets that way.
Okay, now are you still located on Reach Street?
We are.
Okay, beautiful. And we only have about 20 seconds left, so when do you foresee the new animal shelter opening up?
I don't have a time frame for that right now. They are still in works to try to figure out funds for the shelter. Unfortunately, with everything costing more than it used to, we just don't have the amount needed to start building right now.
Okay, so you're definitely looking for donations.
Yes, we're always accepting donations.
Okay, beautiful. Emily, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll definitely have you back, and we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Hey, I'm Chef Corey Dern, host of a show on Rogers TV Georgina called Cooking with Corey. Join me bi-weekly for brand new episodes where I teach you not only what to cook, but how to cook. The only thing missing is smell-o-vision. That's Cooking with Corey right here on Rogers TV Georgina.
Welcome. Join me on the Rogers TV Durham for learning yoga in just 10 classes. My name is Sri. I'm a yoga teacher at Yoga Point, and it's my privilege to spend the next few weeks with you.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So if you want to participate in the polar plunge, it is $30 unless you raise $100, then that fee is waived. So it's a minimum of $30, which is amazing. Money goes to a great cause. Now, if you are an athlete participating in it, it is a minimum registration of $20 unless you raise $75, okay? Now, if you are wanting to be a volunteer for the Greater Durham Special Olympics, I just want to remind you, you can send that email to greaterdurham.events@specialolympicsontario.ca. So send that email out. Volunteers are definitely needed. So, and if you're wanting to participate in Uxbridge Scugog Life, maybe you have an idea for a show of your own on Rogers TV, you can send us an email, uxbridgescugogליfe@rci.rogers.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Long way from Nashville, and mama, I tell you that. Performed from Montreal to Boston to Los Angeles. But Toronto, that's my chosen home. Sure, when I'm walking down Yonge Street, I see some funny people who have the nerve to point the finger at me. Grin and smile and whisper. My song was #2 on local radio. Sold 10,000 in Toronto alone. Turned down Ed Sullivan because they asked me to remove my makeup. Wouldn't do American Bandstand because of their segregation policies. I was just being me. Never tried to explain myself to